everybody, it's Ronin Dave, and I am here with...
I'm Kansai Photos.
Yes, he has a really good blog with, as he says, a lot of photos of the Kansai areas, yes. And where are we today?
We're at the Tempo Sai, so at the Heijokyo Palace.
Mm-hmm.
So these are reconstructions. We're at the Suzakumon Gate, which is the main thing now. There's another, when this was a palace around the year, 600 or so, there were only a couple of generations of the court used this. But
yeah,
this
during the Nara period, yeah.
Really an enormous compound.
But the festival, you've been to this festival before.
Yeah, there are a few different iterations of it. In the winter time, when the days are shorter, they'll have the same type of parades, but the period costumes will be covered with LED lights and a modern twist.
And so what do they do here at this festival?
They have a parade of people in traditional costumes.
Yeah, from the Nara period, 710 to 794.
Yeah, so long ago, when this was the center of the political power, there would be a lot of entourages coming with diplomatic groups. That's why they have a museum over here as this huge seafaring ship that's copied from that time period. So a lot of the performances we saw today were based on like Chinese and Korean culture. Yeah. You can even tell that the costumes look very Korean,
very much so, yeah.
Very Korean in how colorful they are. They're made from lighter materials.
Yeah, it wouldn't be until the Heian period when they would, like the Japanese would start like kind of putting their own style and influence on that.
Especially like court culture.
Yeah,
Other like popular performing arts that definitely has like a
kind of. But Nara period, it was more like just pretty much everything Chinese and Korean.
Big Brother was a big influence on that.
Yeah.
Heidayが入場してきました。薄緑の服を着た武官が七位の位であり、Heidayを指揮します。後ろに続く弓と矛を持った8名がHeidayです。Heidayは特別な儀式の日にはご覧のように黒い衣に
on the payments.
Now, speaking of like, so why are we here today? What was going on today?
Well, they have a Tempo Sai festival, so they
Yeah.
have several of these Tempo Sai festivals every year,
Yeah.
about 4 times a year now. So they've really been picking this up recently.
Now, you say Tempo Sai. What is, for the viewer at home, what is Tempo Sai?
Tempo was the palace area here, so that was the Tempo court was
Yeah.
here. So this is also called the Heijokyo Palace.
Yes.
So this was like the peace era, but the Tempo was the palace name that period in time.
Yeah.
That was just before the Nara period. So this was
Yeah.
the court during the Nara period, and that ended when the Buddhist factions around Todaiji became too powerful, and they wanted to move the capital north to Kyoto under a new construction project there.
可愛い子どもたちが行列をしております。文武百館です。文武百館とは、当時平城京や諸国の役所に仕えた文官は、その身分によって着衣の色が決められ、
Long here. And,
From what I understand, this Heijo-kyo was based on the Tang, I think.
Oh, yeah,
Tang
there's a lot of-
dynasty. This is like when they were really importing a lot of Chinese culture and influence.
Yeah, especially like the grid system, the north-oriented grid system. Love the relics.
Something
they're
that Tokyo
finding
doesn't
here.
have, but needs.
Yeah, those waterways that weren't following like natural waterways. They leveled the ground here, so we have a huge flat area here. Even though you can see the mountains in the distance around.
Oh, and the thing about
everything's
Nara,
flat.
or Heijo-kyo, it was the first permanent capital. Before, it was thought like when the emperor died, they would move the capital because it would be polluted by death. And but with the Tang dynasty being as huge and powerful as they were, they decided they would base a capital on that model and no longer move. They did technically they did move the capital a couple of times, but that was more due to political maneuvering. But yeah, so from
The Fujiwara period was like like
710 to 794 is the so-called Nara period. Though actually, 784, you were talking about the Buddhists, they actually moved the capital already out to Nagaoka, I think it was.
oh yeah, near Nagaoka-kyo was pretty
Yeah,
close.
but that one didn't work out because someone got murdered, and then they thought it was haunted, and so they moved to Kyoto, or at that time, Heian-kyo, and that became the new capital, and then stayed the capital for 1,000 years. Officially, I say officially because unofficially it was wherever who had the most power. At one point, Kamakura, and then later Edo, Tokyo.
平城遷都の命のりを宣せられます。皆様、
I noticed like in the festival, most of the participants were also wearing masks.
Yeah, even though they were wearing period costumes, they were
Yeah.
wearing masks. But some of them did a good job. All the ladies had their
Yeah.
mask embroidered, like
That I
matched
liked.
the
It
period.
actually added a kind of
Kinda
extra
added
atmosphere.
like
Yeah.
like an arabesque kind
Yeah.
of.
Well,
feeling to it.
because a lot of times, in those the court culture anyway, a lot of times they would be veiled or hidden away
yeah.
from the public. Yeah. So, but I was going to say what was interesting about though, because we're talking about the Nara period. The most famous thing from the Nara period is the Daibutsu,
Oh yeah.
and
I
the
think we're on
reason
the third iteration now.
the reason it was built in the first place was related with COVID, was related to a plague.
Oh, plague, yeah.
Yeah, there was a huge smallpox plague that I think broke out in Kyushu in 735 and made its way here a couple years later and like just killed a lot of people. The famous Fujiwara family, they had 4 brothers that had a lot of power, and all 4 of them were killed by the plague. And so it actually is kind of fitting that that they were masked, because they would have probably been something like that at that time, because this smallpox plague was really, really bad. Yeah.
That's a big part of Nara. The whole association between Nara and the deer comes
Yeah.
from a plague, which plague for the end of the plague, and a god.
But that's where they built-
God came down riding a deer. To
Oh,
relieve
okay.
the people of the plague. And also the twin temples over here, Yakushiji Temple, they have the gold and silver pagodas over here. That's related to the plague and medicine making. The Yaku and Yakushi, the kanji,
I see.
medicine. Like
Yeah, well, it wasn't until COVID that we kind of forgot how much sickness and plagues played a huge part in these old cultures. Like, Kyoto's very famous Gion Matsuri that takes place in July, very, very famous, and that also started because of a plague.
the Yamahoko spears.
They started that festival to pray for the ending of the plague. And the Daibutsu was built because not only was there a plague and a lot of people died, it caused a lot of political upheaval. In 740, a member of the Fujiwara family rose up in rebellion, and so that was a bit of an issue. And so the Daibutsu was created to pray for peace. But I really like the festival because it's rather rare in all the festivals I go to have a festival that is particularly set in the Nara period, because the other time periods usually get much more
much more attention.
Much more attention, especially the Sengoku period of the samurai fighting, or Edo period, which was
Nara's kind of overlooked in popular media. That's not
very much so. Yeah,
anything that predates the tale of Genji.
Yeah, because in history, the period before the Asuka period is studied a lot in school, because that's when Buddhism came. That's when they did the government reforms and the famous Shotoku
Taishi.
Yeah, very famous. So everybody knows the Asuka period. And then, of course, Heian period is when you have your Tale of Genji Monogatari, your Sugawara no Michizane, the Fujiwara at their height, Sei Shonogon and her pillow book, and of course the end, when the samurai rose to power, the Genpei War. So everybody knows that. But like Nara, other than Daibutsu, and even then I think a lot of people don't always know that it was built in.
Doesn't really doesn't appeal so much to like the popular.
Yeah, it's often overlooked. You don't see.
The elites are like hidden behind the walls, and big closed gates.
But
Kind of a
what we saw
mysterious-
today, like the locals in the Nara period never would have seen that.
Yeah, like
This would have been completely closed off
Yeah, the
to the
Gagaku
public.
music and the performances, like you probably have photos like the kids wearing the butterfly costumes, and that's a Gagaku performance that was unknown to the public until 20th century. That was just for social elites and.
So it's like what we
private
were seeing was like
ceremonies.
we were getting a glimpse of the past, but a glimpse that was from a very aristocratic level.
Yeah.
Definitely not the local population had no idea of any of these rituals. All right. But yes, this festival, the Heijo-kyo Sai is every year from May 3rd to May 5th. It's definitely worth checking out to see a festival of a time period that's often overlooked, but is very interesting. Okay, so anyway, yeah, if you're in Japan during the early part of May, I definitely recommend checking out this festival. So this is Ronan Dave.
Kansai Photos.
See you